relief from. I'm getting tick-up still, guy. Holy. Must be upset one. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining my YouTube channel today, where I'll be discussing the topic of how to market yourself effectively, leveraging Bandcamp in lieu of not going down the Spotify route, or just wanting some difference in how you're getting paid and maximizing, your revenues from, the traditional distributor to digital retailer platforms. But before we get into those details, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we have up and coming. All right, let's get right into this one. I've been asked to make this video for some time now, and I held off because I wanted to make sure I got the proper results from Bandcamp, and I have been getting them, and it's just been phenomenal. It's been really great. It's definitely a pillar I'm going to continue to leverage in my strategy in terms of marketing on a go-forward basis. So I'm just going to share a few of the things I've learned, because a number of you know that I've pulled my label Purveyor Underground's catalog, at least most of it, from Spotify, just because their values don't align with ours in terms of how they treat artists and pay them respectfully. And as well, I just think it's so oversaturated, and that Spotify model is not, in my opinion, necessarily built for underground electronic music for, to be quote unquote deemed successful. So anyway, let's jump into some of the things here in terms of my observations and what's worked well for me. All right, so point number one is to not be sheep. So I alluded to this just a little bit earlier in my commentary about Spotify, or, at least don't feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing. I think that's the number one major thing to get over. So with sites like beatsunion.com and Bandcamp as well, I think a number of artists and musicians in this game have sort of looked down at it and said, I'm not too sure about that, versus the traditional model of getting a distributor, putting your music through there. And, first and foremost, you see Spotify, especially at the distribution level that I've seen lately, and it's quite interesting, where they're really pushing hard for you to put pre-order or pre-save links to support Spotify's bullshit. So it fascinates me, and I just wonder, well, what's the benefit to them? But anyway, that's probably a whole other conversation. But point number one, don't be afraid to just be different and do what others are not doing, because what others are doing isn't necessarily beneficial to you, especially in our market of underground electronic music. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm not understanding that music is ubiquitous and easily accessible through streaming platforms, and alternatively things like YouTube, but Bandcamp, Beats Union, they have streaming capability as well. So I get that the technology makes music more ubiquitous, but you don't have to succumb to or participate in the fallacy that is, we are not going to pay you for your craft. We are only going to be the only ones who benefit from it, be it Spotify and the distributors. So to me, don't be afraid to just be different. Point number two, this is the most important, I think, is to engage your fans. When I started on Spotify, I had like little to no followers on there, and I just been steadily watching it grow and grow and grow. If you're familiar with the 1,000 fans theory, the idea is if you get 1,000 loyal fans spending about $100 each year on you. That's over 100,000 in income. It is a good philosophy in terms of engagement, but there are other things to the philosophy that you have to keep in mind, which is the core fact that there are costs involved in marketing yourself and the time spent in making your assets and content, your music, your artistry, purchasing equipment, plugins, whatever it is to keep the lights on and to continuously keep you better. Those are active costs, and the cost of living is another one. So while people put a lot of value on this 1,000 number, I think it just needs to be something higher than that, like call it 2,000 to 5,000 true fans. Basically, people who take the time to say, I believe in what you're doing, I'm going to spend money on you, and I'm going to do that consistently because I like what you're doing, I like what it adds to my life and the value that it creates in my DJ sets or whatever it is. You just have to expect that those people are the most important group to engage always. So make sure you're engaging your fans. Tell them when you got new music coming, and just be active with them. It's super easy to do. Bandcamp has an app now where I can regularly engage people, my followers, who continuously come back and check on content. So it's really cool. And point number 3 is through the engagement with fans. I think the brilliance of sites like Bandcamp and Beats Union is you can create very specific promo codes for those individuals or for that group, so to speak. You can say, hey, I got this a cappella. I did it with a track I put out called Stop Your Mind. I made a few limited promo codes to get the a cappella, and people just went for it. It cost nothing to them, but it was just a good way to demonstrate, hey, I appreciate your loyalty as a fan, please let's continue in this engagement. So there's a lot of cool things you can do that way that you can't do on traditional streaming platforms in terms of marketing capability. And all of that just compounds, it just spins into more and more people following you and your craft. And because you're regularly engaged with people and giving promo codes away, people will love the value that they're getting from engaging you. And point number 4, this never stops, which is to let people know and to let them know again that you are indeed on alternative platforms like Bandcamp and BeatsUnion.com. It's super important because they're not, wildly popular to the masses, so to speak. I do know, like, if you're a DJ or if you're even a reporter in music or journalist of some sort, everyone knows about Bandcamp, and they have no problem spending that dough there because they know the money goes directly to the artist. But it's a thing you have to keep these alternate channels in the forefront of the things that you do and let people know that you're there. You don't necessarily have the huge capital that a Spotify has to say, we are here and we have all the music for you, so to speak. So, you got to let people know on a regular basis, and it's easy. I regularly tweet, and I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, like maybe 1,700. But I let people know I have a Bandcamp, and conversely, I do it on my IG stories, which is also very effective, all the time, and it just keeps growing. So make sure you're doing that. And point number 5, this is a key one. Some people hate, art being deemed as quote-unquote content. I like to view my music, my art, as assets and content. It doesn't matter. I'm making music because I enjoy it, and at the same time, I'm looking to monetize it, and that monetization helps with branding, and that branding helps fuel other financial benefits to me and the overall brand that is Demuir and Purveyor Underground. So it is what it is. But create unique assets and content specific for the channel. Say this is only available on BeatsUnion.com. Say it's only available on Bandcamp. I'd say it's only streaming here. Like, doing those things are great because you're just forcing the funnel being the amount of people that are engaging your social media across the board to come to that one place to get that stuff. They can't get it on a Spotify or Apple Music or wherever else. So doing that is really advantageous to you and your brand, and you don't have to do a lot of it in order for it to be successful. DJs are just, for my target market, DJs and producers are just those types of people. They're looking for the unique stuff. So if I post, hey, this is only here, and I'm taking it down after 7 days, they go for it. I have the data to prove it, and it works well. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 observations in terms of how to market effectively on alternate channels, being Bandcamp and Beats Union, and the examples I've used in terms of selling your music and gaining exposure and marketability at the same time. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I usually join the conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos, so I'd love to hear what you got to say and exchange in some great dialogue. And it doesn't end here. We take the chat over to my Discord server or on my Patreon for that matter, where there's a lot of like-minded people challenging one another in their aspirations and journey towards becoming professional DJs and producers, or people just looking to maximize their skill set. So much love and respect to you. Peace.